Hello everyone and welcome to Photo Finds. I'm your host Gavin Hatch. This week we are doing a time hop episode for the month of January. We're going to go back and look at 2012, 13, 14, 15, and for the first time ever we can now look at 2016. So we're going to look at what was going on this month back then. First off, in 2012, coming into the Magic Kingdom, once you pass the toll plaza there and pay an outrageous price to park your vehicle for the day at the Magic Kingdom Park or at Walt Disney World in general, you used to be able to, on your left, see the Richard Petty driving experience. Now this is something, the Walt Disney World Speedway, I should say, is really what you saw. The Walt Disney World Speedway, I remember when they built this when I was a kid in the 90s, and it was pretty cool. I thought it was neat that they had this huge, racetrack thing. I was never really big into racing, but they did have that, and I guess they just kind of really stopped having a need for it. And so Richard Petty's people came in, and of course they thought of a way to make more money from the guests here at Walt Disney World, so they did the Richard Petty driving experience, and then they started doing the exotic car driving experience as well, where you can pay, again, a pretty penny to go ahead and get into some really nice cars and either drive it yourself, do 6 laps around, paying anywhere from $300 to $600 to do that, or you can ride in the car with someone else. So yes, it was something I never did, but we did have someone from Photo Finds did go there and took pictures of the area. So we're looking here at the old Speedway on the inside. I actually never really saw a lot of pictures or videos of what the Speedway looked like, but it did look like a pretty big area, and all this now is what we're looking at is gone, of course. If you have been to the Magic Kingdom parking lot or Transportation Ticket Center recently, it's all grass now. It's crazy. Now, I thought they were going to probably level it and then put more asphalt out there for parking, but it looks like it's just grass. Of course, they could use that area for overflow parking if they really wanted to, but it's just so interesting how something was there and for a number of years, and now it's just grass, and it looks like nothing was ever there to begin with. It's so interesting to me. Now, in January 2012, Big Thunder Mountain Railroad was closed for a major refurbishment. I believe this was the time when they started adding in all the interactive stuff in the queue that we now use today while we wait for this ride that kind of interacts with the elements, the show elements in the actual attraction that you can see from the queue. So I believe that this is the time when they did that and they added all that in there. But I love this picture because looking at this here, this is my favorite part of the attraction. When you are going through here and there's water and it looks like you are splashing through it, but there's a lot of animatronics and different animation going on at the time when you come through here, and it's really quick. It's a split second. You get a really good look at it when you're riding the train. You can kind of really get more time to enjoy it and see all the detail of the attraction and of this scene here of the attraction. But when you're actually on it, it comes and goes pretty quickly, but this is my favorite part of this attraction. Can you believe the Sorcerers of the Magic Kingdom game has been around for 4 years now? It's crazy how time has flown by, but it's so interesting because this picture here shows before it even started. This was when some of the first interactive elements, the screens, were being placed around the park, and this is at the train station in the Magic Kingdom. But when this photo was taken, they were still in beta testing, so they were only doing Sorcerers of the Magic Kingdom 3 days out of the week you could play it, and it was still just in a testing phase. Of course, now it's something you can play every day. It's really become very popular with those who frequent the parks quite a bit, and even for those who are only just there for their first visit and don't come often, because it's something that's free, and it's always nice to have free interactive things and other things to do in the park when lines are long. If you don't want to ride any rides, it's a kind of a cool thing. I've never really been a huge fan of it, but it is interesting, and again, anything that's free and that's fun to do with your family in the park like this, it's cool. But it is so weird that this started in 2012. Now let's move on to 2013 though, but we're going to stay in the Magic Kingdom for a little bit because we're going to take a look over at Splash Mountain. You can see they had some refurbishments going on over at Splash Mountain in 2013. Now, in the beginning of the year, January, February, March, those are more January and February. Those 2 months, that is a time where you'll see lots of attractions and theme parks that are water-based, such as Splash Mountain, let's say Dudley Do-Right, Jurassic Park, all those attractions around the area. Those are going to be closed down this time of year because, of course, it's a bit chilly and you don't have a lot of guests. There's not a high demand of guests wanting to ride those types of things this time of year because of the weather. So they do close them down to do the refurbishment and get them ready for those peak season crowds that are going to come in during spring spring break when we're really busy and when it's starting to get really hot. And of course, they keep them open and they're still ready to go for summer. But right now, this time of year, those attractions with all that water and just natural things happening, of course, when it comes to water and concrete, it takes its toll. So the rides this time of year aren't looking the best, so they usually do close them down and spruce them up and give them the love and care that they need. And you can see that that's what was going on with Splash Mountain here in January of 2013. Now let's move on over to Universal Orlando, because I can't believe it, but Cabana Bay Beach Resort, it's just so interesting when I'm looking back at these past PhotoFind episodes. Cabana Bay was under construction this time in 2013. It was only 3 years ago, but you can see they had just started. Really, I mean, you can't really even tell what we're looking at here, but I can tell what we are because the place of this is taken. You can see Jurassic Park there in the distance, so that's Jurassic Park, the show building inside Islands of Adventure. So directly behind it is Cabana Bay Beach Resort, and that is now, of course, right next to that we have huge construction going on for Volcano Bay, but this was in the very early stages of that hotel being built. Now inside Universal Studios Florida, Transformers 3D The Ride was also under construction, but really coming along pretty quickly, and I believe it opened up in the summer of 2013. So this was, you can see here, the building was all enclosed. I'm sure the ride vehicles were already in there, if not about to be delivered to the ride. But you can see that this building definitely was very just kind of bare, and they have added lots of different decorations and things to it on the outside to theme it and make it look like the Nest facility that we love today. This is a great attraction. But yes, this is really fun to look at because it doesn't seem like it's been around that long. It feels like it just opened up yesterday. Now, when you first look at this, you might actually think, if you didn't know this is a Time Hop episode, you might be thinking this is construction at Fast and Furious, because it looks very similar to what we've seen going on over at Fast and Furious. But no, if you look really closely at this, also because it's 2013, you can tell this is the show building for the Escape from Gringotts attraction, the indoor roller coaster over in the beautiful Diagon Alley area of Universal Studios Florida. So this is, again, it's crazy. This has already been open now since 2014, and the construction just goes so quickly over there at Universal. That is no lie. Alright, so let's jump back to the Magic Kingdom, but move forward to 2014. It was this month, January 2014, that we lost a parade. A parade that was, I liked it. It was a really cute parade. It was in the Magic Kingdom. It was a Celebrate a Dream Come True parade, and this was something that I think I liked it because these floats, I kind of grew up with these floats, even though they had been repurposed and remodeled and changed throughout the years. These floats made their debut in 2001, actually, because it was celebrating the 100 years of magic, which was Walt Disney's birthday, because he was born in 1901. So they used to have the snow globes on them, and I'm sure a lot of you watching this know exactly what I'm talking about. And the musical score, the music was completely different. Soundtrack has been changed multiple times over the years. The costumes for the dancers, the choreography, everything has been changed when it came to the Magic Kingdom 3 o'clock parade, but these floats were reused a lot. And now we do not have them being used in the Festival of Fantasy parade. And I love the Festival of Fantasy parade, that's for sure. I think it was a great upgrade, and I enjoy seeing that every time I go to the Magic Kingdom. But looking at this was the final day, the final performance, and they did 2 performances that day. It's 12:30 and 3 o'clock, and they even had a college marching band there to go ahead and perform before the 12:30 performance of the parade. And Patrick and I have some friends that were actually in that, and were there the last day and performed in it. So it's, again, it's so weird to think that this was gone in 2013. We've already had Festival of Fantasy parade. I feel like Festival of Fantasy has been around for quite some time now, but that debuted in 2014. It's really just talking about this to you guys, and when I'm pulling these photos, it's really weird. It's just, and I'm only 26. No, I'm sorry, I'm 27 now. I'm 27 years old, and it's like, it's just weird because I feel like I'm really old, even though I know I'm young. So it's scary. It's really scary. But yeah, I hope you guys are enjoying these pictures because that was a really cool parade. Now, over at SeaWorld Orlando in 2014, they were doing a major refurbishment on the tank, where you usually would watch the theatrical shows with the killer whales, Shamu Stadium was under construction, or refurbishment I should say, and so what they had was something called Shamu Up Close, where guests would come in and be able to be back here in a kind of like almost a backstage area. It's where they do Dining with Shamu normally now, but you would be able to watch these killer whales still perform their behaviors with the trainers, and the trainers were all mite, and so they were talking to you, and it was definitely more of an educational thing instead of a theatrical experience. So, and it was obviously more up close and intimate because you're not in a huge stadium with thousands of other people. Now, this is something that we're going to see come back in the future. Obviously, if you pay attention to the headlines with SeaWorld, they have decided to go ahead and end the breeding of the killer whales at their parks, and they are going to stop doing the theatrical shows over the years. I think by 2019, all the parks will no longer be doing that, and it's going to, all the habitats that they live in are going to be reformatted, rechanged, and done over to be more a natural environment, and the shows, quote unquote shows, will be more informative and educational, kind of like what I think Shamu Up Close was. So it's not going to be as theatrical anymore. So I think this kind of format that we saw back in 2014 is going to make its way back in a bigger scale to the parks in the future. And I'm okay with that. I'm totally okay with that. I'm a huge SeaWorld supporter, and I love it. And I love what they do and the work they do for animals and their guests. And I think that they are in need of making some changes, and they're going in the right direction. So I think that this is something, I've seen these pictures here. I wish I could have seen this in person. I wasn't able to, but I'm glad that they're going to be doing something similar to this again in the future with their whales. Now, it was at the very end of 2014 or the very beginning of 2015. This was, of course, the Polynesian Village Resort. It had been going through a major refurbishment and retheming, and this was the lobby. Now, the lobby, they just finished up with taking out and removing that huge, like, I don't know what it was called. It was just the waterfall feature, the water feature that was in the center of the lobby that had been there, I believe, since the resort opened back in 1971. And I don't know the reason why they removed that and added all this seating and stuff here. I love what they did with it. This looks great, and I enjoy going to this resort all the time to have meals and stuff, and it's great. But I really did enjoy that huge water feature and all the foliage that they had in the Great Ceremonial House, the lobby there. And I don't know the reason why. Maybe there was, if you know, comment below if you're watching this on YouTube. I'd love to hear. Somewhere in the past I heard that it was causing some sort of structural issue with the roof, maybe because of with the moisture or the water. I'm not sure. I have no idea, but I really missed that. But I do like the changes they made, and I think this looks great. But yes, it's crazy how this happened back in 2015. That resort, it's timeless. They've done a great job repurposing it and making it look like it's always been the way it is now. Now, in 2016, I took you guys over to SeaWorld Orlando to take a look at some stuff going on. There was major construction and some refurbishments going on. As you can see here, refurbishments were taking place on Journey to Atlantis. Like I said earlier in the episode, this time of year, January and February, you will see lots of these water attractions be shut down for a month or two as they go ahead and get just a fresh coat of paint, and they get the boats reworked and everything cleaned, because again, water, especially the chlorinated water they use, really tears at things, and you gotta get things fixed up so they're ready for these peak season crowds coming in for spring break and summer. And so this was going on over at Journey to Atlantis. I've always enjoyed seeing this attraction drained. They don't put construction walls up. They let guests come up and see what's going on, which I like and enjoy and appreciate, because I'm just kind of I'm a ride tech nerd. But this is something they do every year. And also this time last year, can't believe it, but Mako has been open still less than a year, but it's the progress. They really built that attraction pretty fast, in my opinion. So you can see here the construction going on over at Mako, and it is a great coaster. If you guys have not gotten a chance to go to SeaWorld and do this, it is wonderful. It is Orlando's only hyper coaster, and I wasn't really expecting much of it. I didn't think it was going to be that thrilling of a coaster, but I love it, and I've ridden it over 10 times, all in one day, of course. So I rode it over and over again when it was in soft openings. But yes, that's a great ride. Also, this time last year at SeaWorld Orlando, they were doing some construction over by Turtle Trek, where the Manatee Exhibit is located now. The Manatee Exhibit has been open. It's always been there, but what they did was they decided to go ahead and bring guests into that area and make it kind of a area part of the park. Used to be able to go back there if you were like on a VIP tour or educational tour, but most day guests were not able to go back there. So now they have opened up the area and added all kinds of stuff to make sure you're getting educated while you're back here and observing these beautiful animals that are so gentle and so loving. And I'm a native Floridian, so manatees and Floridians, we get along. They are just always so neat and so cute to watch eat and just swim around and care for each other. And I love that they decided at SeaWorld to go ahead and make sure that guests have the opportunity to learn more about manatees. Well, that will do it for this week's edition of Photo Finds. I hope all of you have a great week. I hope you had a happy and safe new year. Happy New Year's. It's 2017 and it is going to be a great year. Let's make sure all of us make it a great year because last year sucked. That's that. That's all I'm going to say. I'm ready for this year. That is for sure. And I hope all of you subscribe to Attractions Magazine because we got some really great content out here. Not only Photo Finds, but we have Daycation Kingdom, other vloggers, and Florida E-Ticket, which is also something I do with my fiance. And we also have our personal channel, Gavin and Patrick, where you can follow us and just see what's going on here in Orlando, but also what's going on in our personal life if you want to get to learn more about me and my fiance. So check that out. And I hope all of you tune in next week. And again, have a great week. Make sure you get out, you have fun, and you enjoy those parks.